Over the past year, I've had the honor to work on behalf of the people of Hoboken as part of the City Council. It's been a tremendous learning experience to work with the professional staff of City Hall and meet so many of my neighbors. I'm especially proud of the work I've been able to do with the Hoboken Police Department, in particular Chief Ferranti and Lieutenant Petrosino, and the Director of Transportation and Parking, Ryan Sharp, to address pedestrian safety across the city. Hoboken is the most walkable city in the United States, so we as legislators must continue to prioritize the safety of our residents, going about their everyday lives. I look forward to working with Mayor Bhalla as we move forward on the launch of Hoboken's own Vision Zero campaign, which you'll hear about more tonight. I'm also grateful for the opportunity to work across the many school communities located in our city, both to address pedestrian safety around our schools, but also on a broad range of topics including security, programming, and community service. Thank you to the Hoboken Family Alliance for all of their support in this collaboration with the city, which included an inaugural meeting of all school administrators this past fall. In my day job, I'm very proud to be a civil servant for the federal government, but what an incredible experience it has been over the last year to make a difference as part of the local government. Whether it means organizing a community meeting, requesting better signage for a dangerous intersection, or just sitting down over coffee to welcome a new resident, I am so grateful I get to work on behalf of all of you. In doing this work, I'm privileged to have the opportunity to learn from Mayor Ravi Bhalla. Born and raised in New Jersey, Mayor Bhalla is an 18-year resident of Hoboken and spent 8 years as a member of the City Council. Educated at the University of California at Berkeley, where he earned a BA in political psychology, and the London School of Economics, where he earned a Master of Science in Public Administration and Public Policy, Mayor Bhalla first earned national recognition for his legal advocacy after suffering a violation of his own constitutional and civil rights during a jail visit to a client. This incident motivated Mayor Bhalla to lead a successful campaign to reform the federal government's visitation policies at correctional facilities nationwide. It was also during this time that Mayor Bhalla decided to get off the sidelines and seek reform Hoboken's local government, following a single-year 70% spike in municipal taxes. Our local government was in dire straits, and Mayor Bhalla answered the call of service to get more involved, to help create true reform, and make a difference to improve this community. I'm so grateful to have worked closely with Mayor Bhalla over the last year, and I thank him for all of his support. Without further delay, please welcome my friend, our mayor, Mayor Ravi Bhalla.
First, I want to thank Councilwoman Emily Jabbour for that warm introduction. I'm proud to call you both a friend and a colleague. I appreciate your leadership on the City Council and for being an important partner in moving our city forward. Thank you to the Hoboken High School Chorus and Drama Club for performing tonight, to Captain Charles Campbell, and to Stevens Institute of Technology and President Navarvan Favarden. President Favarden cannot join us here tonight, but I want to thank him for his leadership and all Stevens does for our community. Thank you to the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Christine Johnson, and all of the Board of Education members for joining us here tonight. Under their leadership, the public schools have grown by leaps and bounds in the past several years. They have initiated a highly successful Passport to Learning after-school program, developed summer science camp, implemented STEM programming, and much more. In 2018, 94% of students in the graduating class of Hoboken High School received college acceptance, with $13.5 million in scholarships. Now, I'm biased, but Hoboken is the best place in America to call home, in my opinion. And I'm inspired by the generosity and can-do spirits of our residents. We're joined tonight by one of my favorite young people in Hoboken, Satya Singh. 4 years ago, Satya was diagnosed with cancer at just 1 year old. Satya, with the strength of her mother and father, Rocky and Uggan, had to endure long hospital stays, hundreds of doctor visits, sleepless nights, and a 6-hour surgery to remove a tumor. She didn't just beat back that cancer, though. With the grace of God, Satya is now cancer-free. And to give back, Satya and her parents, Uggan and Rocky, have raised over $500,000 towards childhood cancer research. Let's take a moment again and thank Hoboken's own Satya Singh, Hoboken's Girls 2018 Girl of the Year, for turning tragedy into triumph. Thank you, Satya. Good evening to the Hoboken City Council, friends, neighbors, residents. Hoboken, it is my honor to present to you the state of our city. Last year, I stood before you at my inauguration, and I reflected on why I ran for mayor. I knew that Hoboken had begun to live up to its true potential. Mayor Dawn Zimmer spent 8.5 years laying the groundwork for which Hoboken could grow and thrive, and I felt a responsibility to honor and build on her work. In my inaugural remarks, I laid out a vision for what I believed Hoboken could become. I envisioned a progressive, forward-thinking, 21st century model of what urban living would look like. And I'm proud to say that we've made incredible progress towards achieving that vision. A city is only as good as the values that it lives by. In my first act, on my first day as mayor, I signed an executive order declaring Hoboken a fair and welcoming city. In a time of divisiveness, when the values embodied by the Statue of Liberty are under duress, when we fight over whether to build walls or not, I chose to signal to the world that Hoboken is open, that in our streets and neighborhood, the American dream is alive and well. We don't need Washington to define who we are. We can do that. And we translated our values into action by taking concrete steps to ensure Hoboken is an inclusive place for people of all gender identities. For the first time ever, Hoboken earned a perfect 100% score in the 2018 Human Rights Campaign, one of only 2 municipalities in the entire state to earn this distinction. We're also committed to lending a hand to those less fortunate. One of the other first things I did as mayor was create a homelessness task force, which in a few short months created a new food pantry to open to all, developed job training and placement programs, secured housing vouchers for permanent housing, and much more. We also expanded the hours and the budget of our tenant advocate, ensuring that underrepresented individuals have the proper representation that they need in what can sometimes be a life-threatening situation. Last year, our tenant advocate, Andrew Sobel, assisted over 100 residents and saved many from eviction and displacement. Finally, to ensure fairness for our hardworking city workers, we established paid parental leave for all city employees, because those first few months with a child should not leave someone with an empty wallet. In other words, we're not just talking about our community values, we're living community values by making them the law of our beautiful city, and 2019 will be no different. I will continue to look for ways to help each and every resident feel welcome, safe, and cared for. This means a serious investment in your quality of life. That means upgrading basic city services and ensuring ample open space, restaurants, and recreation for that precious time that you have with friends and family. We've made major improvements to our municipal services, with the reopening of the Hoboken Office of Constituent Affairs. Since the opening of the office in July of 2018, Caroline Caulfield, our new Chief of Constituent Services, and her team have assisted over 500 residents since only July. Under my administration, government is here to solve problems, not create them. From issues large to small, we want to be here for you. Speaking of quality of life, we've also experienced common trash bags lying around our city streets and sidewalks that are single-use plastic bags. As of last week, these thin, flimsy, environmentally unfriendly bags are now a thing of the past in Hoboken. Hoboken is the largest municipality in the state of New Jersey to ban single-use plastic bags. But we could not have undertaken that positive change without the advocacy of the Green Team, led by Councilman Jim Doyle, and in this case, our young people, our students. When I was a councilman, students from the All Saints Day School presented a very compelling argument to the City of Council to ban plastic bags at a time when the initiative wasn't as popular as it is today. These students planted a seed in my mind by educating me about this important topic. Their presentation resonated with me up until last year when I finally signed an ordinance into law. Many of those students, now a few years older, are here tonight. They are living proof that by speaking up and making your voices heard, you can accomplish anything, no matter what your age. I ask those students from all states to please stand up so we can recognize you and applaud you for your hard work. Our students joining us here tonight is a reminder to all of us that we're building a stronger and safer city so we can leave Hoboken in a better place for future generations. It is my goal to make our Mile Square one of the most safest and pedestrian-friendly cities in the entire country. To that end, I am here tonight to announce the launch of one of my most important priorities in 2019, Hoboken's Vision Zero campaign. Hoboken's ambitious Vision Zero campaign will aim to eliminate all traffic-related deaths and injuries by the year 2030. This major goal is not something we can accomplish alone. It will require a collaborative approach that includes the input of residents and other key stakeholders. We must enact bold, safe streets policies so no one has to endure the experience of being put in harm's way while crossing a street. Improving Hoboken for future generations also includes investments in our school system and recreational opportunities. Last year, my administration negotiated an unprecedented $5 million in public benefits from a developer of our downtown Hilton Hotel. The tax-free public benefits include a $2 million investment into renovating the former Uptown YMCA, which has sat vacant for years. This money will be used to finally construct a new community pool at no taxpayer expense, classroom space for our students, and an Uptown library branch. And as a part of this historic agreement, we have also secured over $1 million in infrastructure improvements and $200,000 in a contribution to our Affordable Housing Trust Fund, thanks to the advocacy of Councilwoman Vanessa Falco. Finally, and certainly last but not least, this agreement includes approximately $400,000 to benefit our charter schools and an unprecedented $1 million endowment for the Hoboken Public Education Foundation, a local nonprofit that has raised nearly $1 million since 2015 to support our schools. Again, all at zero taxpayer expense. Thank you to the Hoboken Public Education Foundation, as well as the passionate advocates for our charter schools, the YMCA, and library boards for help making this agreement possible. Now, I want to talk about another important quality of life issue, improving our infrastructure. When I ran for mayor in 2017, I pledged to be Hoboken's infrastructure mayor. From paving the streets we drive on to upgrading the water mains we rely on, we're taking critical steps forward. This year, we've paved over 50 blocks of roads in Hoboken, more than doubling the amount from last year. We're also in the final stages of our Washington Street project, with the paving of 11th to 15th Street scheduled to be completed in just a few months. Perhaps the most critical infrastructure upgrades we have planned are our water mains. Unfortunately, the large increase in water main breaks in recent years has been due to a current water contract that has tied Hoboken's hands for years, that provides zero proactive investments in our new water mains. Ladies and gentlemen, Hoboken simply deserves better. Tonight, I am happy to announce that my administration is in the final stages of renegotiating our deal with Suez that will provide for over $1.5 million in proactive water main replacements every year. We are also directly investing an additional $10 million over a 2-year span to replace the oldest water mains in the system. Over the next 15 years, this agreement will include $33 million in water main infrastructure upgrades, and I will soon ask the City Council to join me in approving this new agreement. The benefits of our infrastructure will not only help the residents of Hoboken, but also business owners citywide. I want to take a moment to thank businesses like Battalia's, Furniture Store, Biggie's, and others who have given so much to our city, and welcome the dozens of new businesses and industries opening up. To continue to build and grow our business community, I am excited to see the progress of our Special Improvement District Steering Committee and all the progress it's made this year. With the council support, a Special Improvement District will soon be established in Hoboken that will make investments and create marketing opportunities on behalf of our small business community. Special Improvement Districts have been a great success in other parts of the state, and I know it will become a game changer for our businesses and property owners alike. Supporting businesses also means continuing to make Hoboken a destination city. Yes, for the food, the walkability, and the proximity to New York City, but also as a hub for the arts and culture community. Hoboken's urban landscape should be inviting, beautiful, and culturally dynamic. To this end, we have created innovative ways for city government to support arts and culture in Hoboken. You'll see new murals going up that reflect the history, the people, and the culture of Hoboken. It is a priority for me to support local artists in Hoboken, and that is why in June of last year, I signed an executive order that allocates 1% of all future city bonds to creative placemaking and other forms of public arts in Hoboken. And thanks to the advocacy of Liz Cohen, Ricardo Roig, and so many others, we will establish an arts council to ensure that to ensure the successful deployment of these resources. Earlier, I spoke about the goal of creating smart urban living in Hoboken. A big part of that is making sure that we are maintaining and developing new parks and open space across our mile square. In 2018, we initiated the construction of 2 new dog parks and are planning for upgrades in Stevens Park, Church Square Park, Elysian Park, and a total rebuild of Madison Street Park. Over the next year, we'll also be looking to finalize plans for doubling the size of our current Southwest Park. On top of all that, in 2019, I hope to approve plans for a special needs and inclusive park with the support of Councilman Michael Russo, Councilwoman Emily Jabbour, Board of Education member Sheila Delara, and Advocate Megan Yavich. We will be working together to incorporate inclusive elements into the current rehabilitation of Madison Street Park and plans for the Northwest Resiliency Park, which is, ladies and gentlemen, in my mind, perhaps the most exciting, the Northwest Resiliency Park. We have made significant progress in finalizing the design of our 6-acre Northwest Resiliency Park, and will break ground on this park in 2019, this year. This will be Hoboken's largest park, Hoboken's own Central Park. This park will not only be a great place for family and friends to get together, it will also hold up to 2 million gallons of stormwater to alleviate flooding during rainstorms through state-of-the-art underground detention systems and above-ground green infrastructure. When completed, the Northwest Park will be a national model for offering modern park features and open space, along with innovative flood infrastructure that will make Hoboken more resilient in the future. We will continue this Parks as Defense strategy by protecting against rainfall for all new park projects, including an expanded Southwest Park. Our park at 7th and Jackson also has flood detention capabilities and will be able to withhold nearly 500,000 gallons of water during rainstorms, and I look forward to it opening later this year. The next piece of property, and this is an important one, of open space that is critical for so many reasons, is the Union Dry Dock property. This issue has been at the forefront of my mind from day one. You can ask my wife, I think about it almost every day. Last year, hundreds of residents loaded onto buses and drove out to New Jersey Transit's headquarters in Newark to put a stop to the Christie administration's efforts to subvert Hoboken's claims to this property. Since that day, my administration has worked in lockstep with community groups like the Fund for a Better Waterfront and the Hoboken Residents for a Public Waterfront to demonstrate to Governor Murphy that this property should be utilized as publicly accessible waterfront space and not for the purpose of lining the pockets of a corporation. We all know how critical it is to complete our waterfront and maintain the integrity of our environment because we live in it firsthand. Working with Governor Murphy, who has been a champion at protecting coastal communities from threats, including offshore drilling, I know we can find a resolution that protects our waterfront. While our beautiful waterfront is what makes Hoboken special, it also brings along several challenges. Make no mistake about it. Despite what you hear from the White House, climate change poses an enormous threat to our future. The steps we take now, today, will define Hoboken's future for generations to come. Fortunately, Hoboken has built a strong foundation for our environmental future. Thanks to our ongoing sustainability efforts, including flood mitigation, energy efficiency, alternative transportation options, and more, I'm proud to announce tonight that Hoboken is the first city in the state of New Jersey to be certified as a LEED Gold city by the U.S. Green Buildings Council. This prestigious recognition validates that our city is more resilient, and I'm appreciative that we have been given this honor. But it is clear we can do more, and we must do more. Tonight, I'm announcing the framework for Hoboken's Climate Action Plan. a green initiative that will allow our city to combat climate change. This action plan includes purchasing renewable energy for municipal facilities, energy-efficient upgrades in buildings across Hoboken, the implementation of electric charging stations in city garages, phasing in hybrid electric vehicles in our city's municipal fleet, and much, much more. Our climate action plan aims for Hoboken municipal operations to be net zero by 2025 and carbon neutral by 2035, and for a city as a whole to be net zero by 2030 and to be carbon neutral by 2050, which are standards that exceed the goals set by the Paris Climate Agreement. We are also making strides in advancing our historic $230 million Rebuild by Design flood protection project with the continued support of Mayor Dawn Zimmer. I want to recognize Mayor Zimmer for all she has done in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy to make our city more resilient. And I'm appreciative that she remains involved in her private capacity as a citizen as the chair of Rebuild by Design's Citizen Advisory Group. Mayor Zimmer, I'm so grateful, and on behalf of the city of Hoboken, thank you so much. As I'm sure you've heard from Mayor Zimmer before, Rebuild by Design, its flood protection elements does not mean these big, ugly seawalls, which will be installed in our city. What it means is to resist storm surge from the Hudson River by incorporating flood protection into amenities that our community can actually enjoy, including a new and expanded Harborside Cove. So I invite the community to join us at the upcoming Rebuild by Design Harborside meetings on February 4th and 7th, and to help us implement Rebuild by Design through feedback on what you would like to see that park look like. And while we're working hard at protecting from threats of climate change, right here on the ground, working day in and day out, Hoboken's Police Department, under the leadership of Police Chief Kenneth Ferranti, is hard at work protecting the residents of our city and keeping us safe from crime. Thanks to the work of our officers, crime is down 18% in 1 year alone. Thank you. This includes decreases in 11 categories, including robberies, burglary, larceny, and both violent and non-violent crimes. In 2018, we had 0 homicides. In other words, thanks to the hard work and dedication of the Hoboken Police Department, Hoboken is a much safer place to live than in years past. Thank you. This past year, I was also very proud to appoint Brian Crimmins as our new Hoboken Fire Chief. And Chief Crimmins and his teams has made tremendous strides, including the promotion of the first female fire inspector in Hoboken's history, Dana Mulvaney. Response times to fires and emergencies are getting faster, and thanks to the leadership of Chief Crimmins, who has also been a trailblazer in integrating our energy-efficient initiatives into the operations of our fire department, we are really setting the gold standard for what a fire department should be. So thank you very much, Chief Crimmins. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of our city is very strong. and our future is very bright. We are making major investments in our infrastructure, improving the safety of our streets, and adding more open space. Families, young adults, and our seniors are actually seeing the benefits of the quality of life improvements we are making every single day. Hoboken is the place that we're fortunate to call our home. I love this city with all my heart. I'm proud of our city, and I'm so excited for the journey ahead of us. I want to close with a story of someone many in this room may know, longtime Hoboken resident Jack Silber. In 2016, Jack was living what we might describe as a normal Hoboken life. He ran 5K races, had a passion for the local music scene, wrote about indie music, and enjoyed time out with friends at our local bars. Unfortunately, however, tragedy struck for Jack when his 2 legs were amputated below the knee due to health complications. Soon after, Jack understandably suffered from depression. But after a while, Jack started focusing on the things that he could do as opposed to the things that he couldn't do. And now, Jack runs an inspirational program in Hoboken called Don't Diss Disabilities, where he talks to children about the importance of understanding people for the quality of their character, not their visible differences. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Just like little Satya, Jack took his life in his own hands, triumphed over tragedy, and is now making our world a more accepting place. Jack, thank you for all you do for Hoboken. Finally, I want to thank my family, including my wife, Bindia, and my 2 little kids, Arza and Shabag, my nephews, Nishan and Nizad, my parents. Being mayor oftentimes means late nights and early mornings, and I appreciate that they have been willing to share me with the rest of my Hoboken family. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for coming here tonight. My door is always open. My cell phone is always on. Give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, set up a meeting, and let's get working on achieving our goals together. Thank you.